Okay, so I completely forgot about this thought, but it just came to me last minute. I was like, oh shit, I forgot. It's cool. I'll just share it with you now. Basically, I wanted to talk about being full of yourself actually makes you more of an asset to whatever community that you're in than people who are not. I made this observation when observing a spiritual teacher. I was like, Now, a lot of women, when they notice that you are full of yourself, they feel the need to humble you or take you down a couple of notches. But here's the thing about people who are full of themselves, right? Notice those words, I'm full of me. You know how awesome that is? This is not about ego. I'm going to break this down so that you do not get confused. People who are full of themselves are an asset, in my opinion, because when you're full of yourself, you are extremely aware of yourself, right? Which means you're aware of your gifts, which means you're aware of your strengths, right? You're aware of what makes you tick, right? You are aware of your weaknesses, right? And you can only be this aware when you're full of you. People who are full of everybody else but themselves, you're full of your husband, you're full of your children, you're full of, let's see, what else do women get absolutely like absorbed and consumed by? Let me see, other than themselves. Consumed and absorbed with your friends, right? Like, not that I don't know what that, I can't really relate to that, but when you are full of everything else but you have no data on you. You're disconnected from you, right? Because you're full of everybody else but you. And so it's like, okay, so what do I learn about you? What are your strengths? What do you have to offer? And it turns out you don't really have anything to offer because you don't know anything about yourself, because you're full of everybody else but you. Women who are full of themselves are not only full of confidence, but they're full of what they're capable of, right? And so they bring that to the table. They bring their capabilities, they bring their gifts, they bring their capacity in areas that they've mastered, whatever, because they've taken the time to study themselves, right? To become full of themselves. People who are full of everybody else but themselves, family, whatever, you know little to nothing about yourself. And so the trust that is needed to build with yourself is not there, right? When it comes to building trust with self, you must be full of self. You must be full of your life, right? In an effort to study yourself. But if you're full of others and you're studying others, then you don't know shit about yourself. That makes you a liability in whatever community that you're in. So, my advice, be full of yourself, right? And what I mean by that is not, I guess, in an inflated sense, whatever that means. What I mean is be full of all of the data that your body, your mind, which are machines, have to offer you about you. Be full of information about you, right? That makes you an asset to whatever community that you're in, because you know your strengths, you know your gifts, you know everything that there is to know about you, which means you have something to offer. You have a lot to offer. But if you're full of everybody else but you, you're disconnected from yourself. There's a distance between you and yourself, which means there is the level of ignorance about you is like steep, which is bad. Like, that's not good at all. But as a result, when you don't know anything about yourself, you are more of a liability and a burden to others. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Then you are an asset. You may not be able to stand the women who are full of themselves, but they benefit everyone who comes into contact with them because they are aware of themselves and they are aware of their gifts and they are aware of their strengths, and so they can offer that because they know what it is. If you're not full of you, you don't really know you. You haven't cultivated that relationship. I hope this makes sense.